In 2010, Toyota partnered with Tesla to create a Tesla-powered RAV4 EV. The vehicle cost nearly $50,000, only sold in California, and had 100 miles of driving range. Needless to say, not many RAV4 EVs were sold. Yet, the partnership meant more than RAV4 EV sales. It was done to help Toyota meet the California Air Resources Board's EV mandates and for Tesla to add revenue and expand battery production. Not only that, but according to Akio Toyoda himself, Toyota wanted to become less risk-averse. He stated this: Toyota would like to learn from the challenging spirit, quick decision-making, and flexibility that Tesla has. Unbeknownst to Toyota at the time, the exact culture he described turned out to be the main barrier to the partnership. In 2014, the Tesla and Toyota partnership fizzled out after a major culture clash. On one side was Toyota's conservative and slow approach to manufacturing, and on the other side was Tesla's risk-taking approach derived from Silicon Valley. At the end of 2014, Toyota sold a portion of its stake, and by the end of 2016, Toyota's entire Tesla stake was sold off. This was done after Tesla opened a store in Toyota's home city of Nagoya, Japan. Looking back with hindsight, Toyota's position in Tesla would be worth $17.3 billion today if the company kept this position. Toyota's return on investment would be 34,600%, or 346 times their money on Tesla. Today, Toyota's CEO has been making some competitive remarks regarding Tesla and Elon Musk. Additionally, Toyota as a company is developing what they believe will outsell Tesla. This is what we will focus on in this video. When Tesla passed Toyota in terms of market cap in late 2020, the Toyota CEO was enraged. Akio Toyoda stated, "Tesla says that the recipe will be the standard in the future, but what Toyota has is a real kitchen and chef. We are losing when it comes to the share price, but when it comes to the products, we have a full menu that will be chosen by customers." Essentially what Toyota is stating here is that Toyota has a wide variety of vehicles, including an upcoming lineup of EVs, hybrid vehicles, internal combustion engine vehicles, and hydrogen-powered cars. Toyota then went further along with the analogy by telling Bloomberg, "They aren't making something that's real. People are just buying the recipe. We have the kitchen and chef, and we make real food." Honestly, this quote by the Toyota CEO seems extremely close-minded. Why would Tesla owners have recipes on their driveway while others have quote-unquote real vehicles? Now, while you might be confused, there is some hidden meaning behind Toyota's statement. He believes that electric vehicles won't be the future of the next decade, and that ultimately, the winner will have to have all types of vehicles. On Toyota's Q3 conference call, Toyota explained that there's a lot his company can learn from Elon Musk, but at the same time, he's confident that Toyota will win out in the long term with its robust and diverse product mix. 1 month after his cooking analogy, Toyota gave a dark warning to the EV industry. This was in response to the rise of Tesla and other EV companies. Toyota mentioned at a news conference that if the car industry shifts to EVs too quickly, the current business model of the car industry is going to collapse. He then estimated that the infrastructure needed to support a 100% EV fleet would cost Japan between $135 billion to $358 billion US. Going even further than that, Toyota argued that EVs are not environmentally friendly because most of the country's electricity is generated by burning coal and natural gas. The more EVs we build, the worse carbon dioxide gets. When politicians are out there saying, "Let's get rid of all cars using gasoline," do they understand this? The idea that EVs emit more carbon than internal combustion engines has already been debunked by several studies, such as a study coming from the Union of Concerned Scientists. Of course, EVs do emit carbon upon the production of the vehicles and electricity, but over the lifespan of the vehicle, it is much less than internal combustion engines. Toyota attempts to use this information in order to push his worldview that electric vehicles aren't the future. With that in mind, you can probably guess what Toyota's plan is to outsell Tesla. Yet, that would be wrong because despite Toyota's words, Toyota is actually making significant investments into EVs along with its investments into hydrogen and hybrid vehicles. Hydrogen technology sounds like it would be the future. After all, hydrogen is the most abundant element on the planet. Nevertheless, the truth is that its technology is extremely inefficient. This is a chart comparing the pathway for hydrogen vehicles and electric vehicles. On the top, we have the electricity that is generated, and it moves down to the ultimate energy output. When it comes to hydrogen, Each step of the process causes the electricity to shrink on and on. First, AC-DC conversion leaves 95% of the electricity left. Then, electrolysis leaves 75%, then compression, transportation, the fuel cell, and the fuel cell vehicle all down to just 23 kilowatt hours, or 23% of the starting energy of 100 kilowatt hours. When we look at the other end of hydrogen, it's even more inefficient at 19 kilowatt hours or 19%. On the other hand, electric vehicles still have 69 kilowatt hours of output, or 69% of the starting electricity amount. By the process itself, hydrogen is, in Elon Musk's words, insanely dumb. The chief engineer of Toyota's hydrogen efforts actually agreed to this by stating, "Elon Musk is right. It's better to charge the electric car directly by plugging in." Despite this, Toyota is still investing in hydrogen for the worst reason possible. The Toyota chairman said, "We don't really see an adversary zero-sum relationship between the EV and the hydrogen car. We're not about to give up on hydrogen electric fuel cell technology at all." The fact that Toyota knows hydrogen isn't as capable as electric, but is still investing in it, shows how stubborn the management is. Back in 2012, Toyota already began developing its new battery that could last for quote-unquote potentially more than double the driving range of electric vehicles, possibly up to 1,000 kilometers, and it's even cheaper. The battery would be a sodium-ion battery. Sodium, being the sixth most abundant element in the Earth's crust, is lightweight and cheap. Yet even today, this battery seems years away, which is why we will pay more attention to Toyota's solid-state battery that Toyota believes will be ready for a reveal in 2021. As of today, Toyota stands at the top of all solid-state batteries, as the automaker has over 1,000 patents for solid-state technology. To quickly review solid-state batteries, we'll compare the major differences between today's EV batteries and Toyota's. Typically, lithium-ion batteries have an electrolytic solution filling the battery. Solid-state batteries remove that solution and replace it with a solid electrolyte. This makes solid-state batteries more energy dense because the solid electrolyte takes up less space than the electrolytic solution. In theory, solid-state batteries work out well. However, as we've seen over the past few years, solid-state batteries have never come to fruition. Toyota claims that its solid-state batteries will charge from 0 to 100% in 10 minutes and have a driving range of 310 miles. Nonetheless, the reason why Toyota's solid-state battery claim is not surprising is that even if Toyota unveils its battery in 2021, the vehicles with those batteries won't come into production until 2025. Toyota actually claims that it will have 6 new electric vehicles released from 2020 to 2025, but it's clear that the company isn't confident in its lineup. This lineup includes a compact crossover co-developed with Subaru, a small car co-developed with Suzuki and Daihatsu, another small crossover, a compact sedan, a minivan, and a mid-size SUV. By 2025, Toyota only expects to sell 500,000 EVs, whereas Tesla plans to sell a few million. This is mainly because, as I mentioned earlier, the Toyota CEO believes the automaker having a diverse mix of vehicles will come out on top. While it is true that Toyota's management is stubborn, I don't see the automaker going bankrupt within the next 5 years. Toyota currently has $10 billion of long-term debt and $5.6 billion of cash and cash equivalents. This might seem like a lot of debt at a first glance, but the company is still profitable, even during the pandemic. Because of that, Toyota will likely run into financial trouble only when electric vehicles take the majority of the market share. Even if Toyota falls behind on EVs, the automaker will not be the first one to go bankrupt in my opinion. Ford and GM have far worse balance sheets and aren't as profitable or efficient as Toyota's manufacturing operations. Let me know whether you think Toyota will succeed over Tesla or instead go bankrupt in the next decade or two. Do you think the Toyota CEO's plan will play out? If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.